Hi, I'm Linda Nitzen with Sizzix. Today I'm going to show you block 2 in the series for the Ocean Breeze quilt that's behind me. It's a 4.5 inch half square triangle. 4.5 half square triangle. It is this block right here. Very simple. Beginners, I urge you all to try this. This is the simplest way to make half square triangles. For this particular quilt, you need 56 of each color, 4.5 inch half square triangle. That equates to 2/3 of a yard of each color, so the background and the color. So what I've done is I've taken my long strips and I've cut them in half, because the easiest thing to do with half square triangles, since I know I'm going to sew these together, is I marry them up right sides together on the strip. Keep the edges straight, and I'm going to put that on top of the die because my maximum cut is 8 layers. So I have 2 here. Now there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that edge straight. And 7, 8. All right, we're good with that. And I actually would like to turn it this way on the die. The reason I turned that sideways on the die, the fabric, was because the die is actually wider in one direction than it is in the other. And the reason for that is to accommodate for the seam allowance that's in the center of the die. Okay, so I'm going to lay that back flat. I'm good with all edges. I need a cutting pad for the top and a cutting pad for the bottom. Today I'm going to use the Big Shot Plus machine. It's 9 inches wide. When I put that die into the machine, I want to be able to skew it a little bit because it has those straight blades. By using the Big Shot Plus machine, I have that ability. Of course, you can use the Big Shot or the Big Shot Pro if you prefer. Just skew that as much as you can. Slide the cutting pad off, and you now have your pairs that we are going to take very carefully to the sewing machine. And if you look at those, they alternate between the background and the colored piece. So we're going to take those in pairs to our sewing machine, and we're going to chain piece sewing those. But cut all your fabric first, then go to the sewing machine. So I take them in pairs. You do have the bias on that center diagonal, so be real careful when you put them in. Okay, here's my starter cloth that we're going to put into the machine first so that that corner triangle doesn't get eaten by the sewing machine. All right. And we're just going to use our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it's really a scant 1/4 inch. Be sure not to go over that, or your blocks will not line up correctly. So I'm just going to chain piece through that entire stack, and then I'll show you how to press them. So what I've done is I've gone to this ironing board and I've pressed my seams open. I now have a 4.5 inch block that I can work with that will work with my 2.5 inch square 4 patches. So let's remind you what you've made today is 56 of these half square triangles that will incorporate into this beautiful Ocean Breeze quilt behind me. This is block 2. See you next month.